Subscribe to the official Pick Rich's Brain podcast at richredmond.com/podcasts.
On this episode 8 of Pick Rich's Brain, we're talking to the Three Kings. Oh my God, 20 years of working together, working with bands like Rushlow, Jason Aldean. We talk about the evolution of the music business in Nashville and a new series called Ask the Best.
Drummer, percussionist, author, composer, songwriter, producer, professional speaker, actor, Rich Redmond has left his mark on thousands of songs, including over 21 number one hits, over 30 years of been there, done that, wisdom and knowledge in the Nashville music business. This is Pick Rich's Brain.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Episode 8 of Pick Rich's Brain.
We're shooting 8 episode.
Episode 8. We had to really cut our teeth.
This is the debut.
As you can tell, this is going to be a fantastic episode. People have really been looking forward to this episode because who are my guests for episode 8 of Pick Rich's Brain, live from Craft Studio, beautiful Brantioch, Tennessee. We have Mr. Kurt Allison and Tully Kennedy. Together, we're the Three Kings. The Three Kings are in the house right here, beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. So we are going to be talking about all things music, motivation, and success today. Now, I've been playing music with these gentlemen for 18 years. How many presidencies is that? That's a lot of ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, clothing styles have come and gone, hairstyles have come and gone. This is a relationship that is steeped in blood, sweat, tears, and diesel fuel. We've been to 16 countries together. We've played for the U.S. military in strange places like Croatia and Sarajevo and South Korea, and we've had a Guinness in Ireland. We've had fresh salmon in Newfoundland. We've been to Smyrna. We've been to Smyrna together, and we've recorded together a little bit about this collective pedigree. We don't want to pat ourselves on the back too much, but this doesn't happen in Nashville. 3 individuals, a 3-headed hydra that make a commitment to each other, a commitment that has lasted longer than wives and girlfriends. I will tell you, I see these gentlemen more than I see my blood brothers, my family, anyone.
That's true. Unfortunately true.
We've missed many a wedding, many a graduation, many a funeral. Births. Everything. Tully's son, Keller's over here, and he's like, yeah, Dad, you weren't around when I was born. And that's why, if you want to go see Escape from the Planet of the Apes or Battle from the Planet of the Apes, you can go. Sure. Whatever you want on Daddy's credit card. Okay, so this is going to be such a great episode, and we are taking your questions live via Facebook. Where can you find this broadcast? Well, at my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rich Redmond, there's over 350 videos. All 8 episodes of this web series are going to be on there. And, of course, Google Play, iTunes, and Stitcher, and, of course, richredmond.com. Our good man, Jim McCarthy, my right-hand man, my muse, is keeping me on track. He's behind the camera.
Hey,
Jim.
Yes.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
All right. So, Jim, usually we get the promosexuality out of the way. We promote some stuff. What are we working on? What do we want to remind everybody about?
YouTube channel.
YouTube.com.
Subscribe to your YouTube channel.
Please subscribe.
To win a brick of sticks.
Do I have to give a brick away?
A brick.
What kind of brick are you talking about?
Just a whole brick of my sticks?
A brick of your sticks.
Oh, are you talking about my signature Active Grip 595 ProMark Series drumsticks? Available at Amazon and Guitar Center
I apologize.
all over the world?
I didn't know I was doing an infomercial today.
Well, we get the infomercial stuff out of the way. So yeah, make sure you subscribe and like my YouTube channel. It's for your benefit. There's a lot of educational behind-the-scenes stuff on there, and you can win a brick of my sticks.
What is a brick of sticks?
A brick of sticks is 12 pairs, and which is good because they're $20 sticks at the store. So
I've been using your. I played my drums last night, and I just now, like a little shard of wood came off.
People are loving the sticks. You guys in metal bands are playing my sticks, and they're saying, "My God, these sticks last forever." Right. So check them out. What else, Jim?
Drumming in the Modern World.
DrummingInTheModernWorld.com. 6.5 hours of online training for your musical career. You want to be a drummer in Nashville and try to navigate whatever we do, this country rock pop music that we're doing in Nashville. Everything I know about drumming from the last 40 years, and especially the last 20 years in Nashville, is right there at drumminginthemodernworld.com. For $150, you get the whole enchilada.
I was about to ask about the whole enchilada.
You get the whole enchilada.
And whose idea was that?
That was mine. I said let's get this picture of a giant enchilada in Photoshop with me holding it. And it's just funny. Yeah. It's just fun.
It was fun.
What else, Jim?
I can't think of anything else.
Okay, so the promosexuality is out of the way. Kevin Murphy, Murphquake, if you're watching, he called me, Rich is not a drummer, he's a promosexual. You know what? I'll take it as a compliment. Maybe we'll have Kevin Murphy on the show one day, and it'll be like Frick and Frack, Oil and Water. It'll be so much fun.
If anybody needs his own podcast, it's him.
Yeah, he definitely should be doing it.
I know somebody who can produce that.
He's the Delightful Curmudgeon. He should. If you haven't gotten the delightfulcurmudgeon.com, Kevin Murphy, you should, if you can spell curmudgeon. Okay, moving on. We've got Kurt and Tully. We're here. Guys, tell the listeners a little bit about this relationship. The first thing that comes to your mind, Kurt, I met through your dad.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago?
20 years ago.
Stupid.
In Printer's Alley.
Oh, yeah, I played with my dad and his band forever. I got out of high school at 18 and went on the road with him. Long story short, we had come to Nashville, and he's always on the lookout for talent, cheap talent.
Smart.
Right, I think we were...
Enter Redmond.
I was the right price point at the time.
You were cheap, you were talented. Anyway, he saw you drumming. Where was it?
It was in Printer's Alley at Barbara's.
Barbara's. So you came over and sat in at Club Mirabel.
Yes.
Wow. Which was...
Steve Dakin was in the band, wasn't he?
Steve Dakin.
And Buddy Leach was in the band, who plays saxophone for...
And you know that during that time period, speaking of Dakin, I wonder if he's watching.
Steve Dakin!
That's when Winona came in to see the band. She took a liking to Mr. Steve.
Steve and Winona dated briefly.
Well, no. Let's not put that out.
They didn't date? Sorry, Christy.
Oh, what? No. I think we went on a date. There was a date, but it wasn't dating.
Wow.
Anyway,
didn't know that.
Side note.
Good for Dick.
Anyway, so Rich came in. What was the song you played? I remember.
Brick House.
Brick House.
And then Kurt and I you were wearing white leather pants. Pleather. And then, we totally hit it off. And then before you knew it, I was working with your dad's band.
Yeah.
And the band is called The Blues Other Brothers.
Yeah.
There was a lot of material, neo-soul stuff, Stax Records, Motown, but Vegas style, a lot of beefed up tempos. We played a lot of casinos, a lot of private parties, a lot of corporates. Super, super fun. And then we grew that relationship into where in 98 we were doing some work with Ronna Reeves, who's now a world-class song plugger here on Music Row in Nashville. But at the time, she had a pop career, and her record was produced by Peter Cetera. So we were playing with her. And then 1999 comes along, and Tully you moved here in 96?
96, yeah.
You moved here 1 year before me, and your uncle was writing at Warner Chappell Music.
Yeah, I was from New England area, upstate New York and Canada, and playing out in bands from 14 to 20, local touring bands and vans and trailers, and did that. And then my uncle was a staff writer at Warner Chappell here, and so I decided to give it a try, and I wanted to, play in records and do bigger things. So I moved in 96, and then did all kinds of stuff to, make ends meet, play music. Played every bar you could imagine with, every gig, no matter where it was. And then I did that, and I ended up going overseas for all of 98
to Italy
to play for Disney in this big horn band, which oddly enough that we didn't know it till a couple years down the road, but these guys had both got the gig as well.
We had all auditioned
at separate times, and we all got the gig, and I actually got the gig. And then I changed my mind, and I didn't want to do it after taking 3 months of advance pay. So I was like, because I got a gig playing for the Lynn's, and
Loretta Lynn's daughter.
And I thought maybe that'd be but I'll never forget it. I went to have lunch with one of my bass heroes here, Mike Brignadello, who's a first class guy, world class bass player. Yeah. I went to have lunch with him. I was probably 23 years old or whatever, and I said, Mike, what should I do? I can go on the road to Lynn's, and we're opening for Winona.
This might
Full
be a theme.
circle.
Yeah. And I said, I can do that, or I can go to Italy and I can play in this 12-piece horn band and playing cover songs. He goes, bye.
Yeah, take the gig.
Take the gig.
Go
So
to
I went and
where
did
the
it.
go to where the work is.
So I went back. So I went to rehearse for weeks and months. And then I changed my mind again.
This is a great story.
And then, I changed my mind again. And then a couple weeks later, they called me up and said, we really want you to do the gig. We'll give you a little bit more to do it. And I went and did it. I flew out to Las Vegas and rehearsed in Vegas for 2 months.
It's so odd, and I know we've talked about this, but when I had gotten the gig as well, I went out to Vegas.
I remember you...
But
I got to tell a story because when I committed to the gig, I'm in Vegas, right? And I'm like, one of my stipulations in this was I didn't like the guitar player that was in this band. So
Why did you like him?
I just didn't like him.
As
he
a human?
He was a decent human. He was a below decent player.
Below decent.
So part of my stipulation to going back there was to get this other guitar player, and Bob Sigler.
Bob Sigler
Said to me, I've got the guy. He's going to be there. So I get out to Vegas, 1997. This was 97 at this point.
Yeah.
And I get there, and same guitar player. I said, Bob, what happened? He goes, well, the guy we had backed out.
So what happened? I went to Vegas, but you weren't there at that time?
I just missed you.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because
So I went and
you
auditioned or did something.
before they called me back, you went.
Yeah.
And
then
I was
backed
offered
out.
the job. Can you imagine all of us on a beautiful boat on the high seas in Italy, traveling the world?
It was
Who knows
amazing.
what would have happened?
It was amazing. It was but then I got back from there, and then I met.
And instead of being on a beautiful boat in Italy, we went to Donaldson and lived together.
We lived together, guys and gals. We lived together for an appropriately inappropriately long.
You were
period
living
of
in
time.
Donaldson then, though.
No, I mean after. I said instead of being on a boat in Italy,
We lived in Donaldson
decided to
and
live together
Hermitage
in Donaldson.
Yeah,
Yeah, we decided to skip that part and go right to Donaldson.
that took a while though.
It did.
But I tell you this, after it was skip a few years, but after I got back from the Disney thing, and it was '99, and I met and started playing with Kurt directly after that, and then Kurt knew Rich, and we all met. Fast forward, if you're wanting to do this in Nashville and you're young and you're wanting to give it a try, we really did, starve for the music and want to be a team, and that's kind of what got us to where we are. Honestly, I know I wouldn't be where I'm at without these guys, and I love saying that. That's not something I'm not proud of. I'm very proud of that, because I don't think you can do anything without the help of brothers and lifting you up. And I was always the youngest one, and I had a lot to learn musically. That these guys, I'm the youngest one.
Rub it in.
Now, it used to be a bad thing, right? Now it's I'm the youngest one.
No, but I did. These guys taught me a lot. Rich taught me a lot about, playing better time and playing in the pocket, playing behind the beat. I was always ahead and just aggressive and pushing everything. And he taught me to hold back and playing with Kurt. His right hand's so good. It just locked in really well. So it was a great. I wouldn't trade a second of that.
It's rare, right, to find three humans. I mean, obviously, we have our things. Like Kurt is Switzerland. You and I fight like brothers. It's a lot. It's a lot better. But back in the day, oh my god. But the fact that we can keep three people working towards a common goal for 18 years.
Yeah, it's
Long
beyond
time.
rare. It's maybe an aberration. It's very, very. We're lucky and we're all blessed. I think, like Tully said, we've enriched each other's lives in more ways than one.
And
I love you guys.
Yeah.
With that came hard decisions. At all different times, we were all offered separate gigs in this time period before Jason, before.
Tully would always talk me off the ledge and be like, but this person's got 20 more dates and they're paying a little bit more. And he's like, stay the course, Redmond.
You know what? It's true.
Because I would be always like, I want to play. I'm a player. I gotta play.
And we were playing every night. It was just we all got offered to go out and do road gigs that would offer at the time steady money. but it wasn't together. And every time I played without these guys, whether it was some random showcase or some random session, I was miserable. So
you'd be like, "You're not Rich. You're not Tully."
Yeah, it never really worked out. So there's a lesson in there somewhere that if you,
what is it?
If you can find people that you can play with, if you find people you can play with and make you happy. And it's not going to be roses all the time, but if you have we have something very special musically.
It goes beyond
it's
playing music together. It is it's eerily there's a brotherhood that when we're playing together, it's magic. And I think we found that out every once in a while. We'd drift off and we'd play with other people, and it's great, but it's like, man, this is magic. Yeah,
it's good, but doesn't have the unique swagger or the little intricate things that are a band that make it special. And that to me is what I'm most proud of, is sticking together. And Jason included in fast forward a couple years after that, meeting Jason and Michael Knox giving us a chance to do that together in the studio when no one else would. We were really green as far as I know.
I didn't belong.
And the studio was Michael really got us in there, and
Michael Knox,
and kind of showed us, or at least gave us the time to be in the studio and learn it and mess up and make mistakes and kind of figure out how to do it. So
some people are patient. He was a very patient soul that wanted. If you want something different, he wanted something different than hiring the same five.
Yeah, he saw the vision of what this could be.
Yeah, and now here we are. Just last week, we recorded Jason Aldean's 8th record. So there's a body of work there, and there's definitely, somebody asked me a question. A friend of mine said, "Hey, can you answer a question about like what is the process like, and are you responsible for this new sound?" I said, being responsible for a new sound, that's a lot of weight to carry on your shoulders, and that'd be a lot of back patting ourselves on the back. I said, what it is, it's a collective group of people who give each other creative freedom, and creative freedom comes from a thing called trust, which is very hard to find because money talks.
And I think we change. I do compare ourselves a little bit. We changed the sound in the
let's pat ourselves
just a little bit in the sense that, and this is credit to Michael and Jason, was that we're rock players. I know. I mean, I know. Kurt. I know. I speak for myself. Rich is the most versatile player.
Van Halen.
I'm a street player. Like I taught myself how to play. Learned to play. That's why we work together. It's angst and it's raw, but he can do everything. So that's polished a little bit too, but intertwining together. But we brought that to country music, and it's Michael's vision, because we just played how we would play. We weren't slick and polished and country players. So in a sense, we did move the sound that way, but we were allowed to. Radio heard it, and the timing, which is everything in this business, timing allowed us to change it then.
Yeah, I remember distinctly having a conversation with Jason and Michael when you had brought me in, and I was like, man, I can't play country. And they were like, perfect, that's what we want. Okay, I mean, I'm in.
Is that even back then in 2005 when Hicktown came out, that was a noticeable song.
It was, and if you back up to 2002 and 3 and 4, when we were playing showcases with Jason, before Hicktown came out, there was no guitars in country. Country music was kick and snare, vocal, acoustic guitar, steel and fiddle.
Yeah.
And then further on down the road with She's Country, you tuned down.
Drop D,
right?
And actually C sharp,
like King's X.
So that's something that's you're getting into metal territory of that.
But it was
but when we first went out with Jason, it was Jason and us three in T.G. Shepherd's old bus with the velvet painting of the dogs playing poker, and we didn't know if the bus was going to make it, and then before you know it, it was like we looked forever to find that second electric player that could fit with Kurt, and then we were like, do we hire keys? No. Do we hire fiddle? No. We had to find the right. But now you look at the instrumentation of all country bands, and literally it's bass, drums, 2 electrics.
Yeah, it was unheard of then. It was like. And now it doesn't seem like it was so. It was just way. Then to go out there with the 4 of us and play a show, and then add another electric was just that's what rock bands like Fuel were doing. Not Jason Aldean, new artist. So, but that's kind of what pushed his voice with his image.
Yeah, we could do it in a way.
He allowed
because of
us.
his image
He sounds.
and his
He's got.
sound.
We've talked. I mean, God, we're in this. I'm in this 20 years now with Jason, and I still say it every night. It's like the guy
Sings
got an
great.
undeniable, powerful voice, and that allows us to play the way we do. He's got a southern sounding voice. It's country rock. He's got the image that allows us to be what we are, and it balances it out. So it's very timing, and it's once in a lifetime. It's lightning in a bottle.
It's once in a lifetime. But he does. I've never heard the guy have a bad. He sings consistently every night.
Every night, and that allows us to play hard.
It would suck to have to back.
Play.
It would suck to back up a chick that's like, I don't feel like. Oh, that would suck. I would be behind some salad guard, and these guys would have pods on stage, and it would be horrible. Pods went out, right?
Yeah,
so how about some questions? We'll break it up.
Well, I was just going to say that
Yeah.
even with the stage presence you guys have, the energy is palpable coming off the stage. You give it your all every night, and hopefully the audience.
And that's not contrived either.
No.
That's amazingly enough. Every night, that's part of what this is too, and including Jason and Jack and Jay as well. I mean, we get up there and it starts with Rich and Tully, and it just feeds and it goes through all of us, and Jason delivers it. It's very rarely, I think, unless somebody isn't feeling well, stomach ache.
I mean, even if you do have a stomach thing, we've had accidents on stage. What are you going to do? You got to play.
Yeah, and we're
You gotta
very.
play.
I tell you what we are though, and I'm probably the worst offender. We take it pretty seriously, and
Well, of course,
and
we wait
and
around
it's-
22 hours.
I think
to
I think
play.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
One of my pet peeves watching other bands play is laughing off a mistake, or there's no laughing up there. It's like for me. It's like.
It's our job.
And we stay on each other. We have arguments. Me and him argue constantly. I'm talking about little things, like hi-hat accents on certain songs.
Yeah, but things
randomly.
it's become quite polished now to where it's just like we know what after all these years what works and what we need to do, and we're accountable to each other. But it's about that, because literally, if you want to do this, if there's some listeners out there that want to do this, just realize you're going to miss all the funerals and the weddings and the births and the deaths and the graduations, and you're not going to sleep in your own bed, and you're going to see some of the places in America that you don't want to see, and you wait around for 22 hours to play. So when you are on the stage for 2 hours, you better play.
Yeah, and
I mean, you wait all day to
Well,
do
and that's
that.
got to be in you too.
And if you haven't, Kurt, you just said it best. Like, I grew up, the minute I put a bass on, I was 8, 9 years old, I knew what I wanted to do. And if you want to do it, you go do it. And that's part of it. All the little things, the little warts that aren't sexy about it, that comes along. That's the trade-off for getting up there and playing in front of 10 to 20,000 people every night.
Well, it's fortunate that you found your DNA early on. Rich had the same experience when he was 8 or 9 years old with the drums, and I'm sure you would be talking. You just knew this is what you wanted to do.
Kurt played keys, too.
And he took
And he was an actor.
Like a lot of businesses.
What?
I thought I was going to go to LA and be an actor.
I'm just finding this out now?
No, he was in
via infomercial?
He was probably musical theater.
What are you talking about?
He did some acting.
I did some acting. I did some gigs.
Ladies and gentlemen,
those things are lighting
you learn
up.
something every day.
What do we got?
Really?
Somebody had asked
Oh, yeah.
Davidson. He said he made a statement. He said,
I mean, it didn't last long.
Chemistry is key and tough to find, and that's the thing is that essentially you guys together, especially along with bass, you are a form of a business. And when that business gets to a certain point, it kind of hums along and is a well-oiled machine. In the beginning, not so much. It takes processes to get there. What would you impart to people coming to town?
Tully is going to tell you what he says.
Hey,
Well,
we're laughing about this, but it's actually...
You got to really... I tell you this. If you're going to come to town at any point, you're going to find out quickly how bad you really want to do it. Really quick.
Really quick, it's a failure business. Most of the time, you're going to get told no, right?
That's good, Kurt. It's a failure business.
I mean,
We're writing this down for our next book. It's a failure business.
Well,
it is a
is.
failure
It's
business.
a catchy title. But it's the truth.
It is the truth. and you got to have thick skin, and it has to be a part of you that's like, well, I mean, this is what I'm going to do.
No matter what.
This is what I'm doing. I mean,
then it will. Yeah.
How can somebody? What are some of the tenets they can adopt to make it quicker and compress it?
It is a business. I mean, I will say this: we were. For the first 10 years in Nashville, we were never seen apart. When we were in Los Angeles, we would go and we would find the most awesome, affordable leather jackets that we could get. And we always had money for a leather jacket and a cocktail. And we would go out together and we walked into a club. It was like, dump, 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 dump. I mean, we were always together. And people were like, we were running a business. We were promoting our skill set.
I mean, it wasn't solely as a business thought, though. I mean, we really liked each other.
Yes.
Yeah, we did. We mixed it, and we would go out every night in town. I mean, we were seen together.
There's those guys.
And here,
it's just the truth.
We were just, honestly, we were badass. Like, we were...
Yes!
We were.
Write this down.
We would go out. We'd go out to a show. We get hard to play showcase.
Laughing.
And here's where I'll swing heavy with this stuff, is the fact that we would go play showcase, and we would learn those songs. All five. We weren't reading these songs. We gave every artist that we were showcasing for the feeling that they had their own band and they had it for years.
It's
I didn't have a stand up there, and a lot of these guys today are lazy, and they got their. If I see,
that was the way everybody showcase was.
Yeah, a light with a stand with a light on it, and I'm looking out there, and I'm like, this isn't inspiring. I'm going to go up, and we're going to do this, and we're going to slay those guys because we're going to kick ass, and like we've been playing these songs for 10 years.
Well, there's about a 5-year period where every label in town was hiring us to be the showcase band. At 6 p.m. at 12th and Porter, or 3rd and Lindsley, or Douglas Corner, or the Sutler, we had cartage, we had a hot meal, and we had good money to play a showcase for somebody. And we made, no matter who was standing in front of us, feel like they had a road-worn band.
Yeah, like we were their band, and that meant something to them.
That's part of us always being together too and sticking together. It was like, hey, Rich gets called for a gig to do something. He's like, well, me and my guys, right? Or Tully the same way.
It's very mafia.
And it was, and then pretty soon there wasn't a question. It was just like, let's hire
the 3 guys. Yeah, and the title, Three Kings, came from one night of us actually just drinking too many Irish coffees. And I was like, you know what, guys? It's the branding and marketing in me. It's like, Three Kings.
And we laughed.
Three Kings.
Fairly hard.
And then we just kept referring to it. I think we had a MySpace, or it was definitely in the bio, and then
a Facebook page.
Yeah, and it's just a fun thing because we were living together in the Hermitage in Donaldson, and when we had to prepare for a showcase before the rehearsal the next day, we would go to our stations. So our bedrooms were like boom, 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 right next to each other. So that door would close, and then he would have everybody would be doing their homework and just running it. And I'd be getting the BPMs and programming loops on my little Dr. Groove box. And I could get away with reading because I would always have them little charts, because I'm back there. But these guys are on the front line. They want to be interacting with the artist.
And you didn't play like you were reading.
Yeah. And I was like, it wasn't ever that.
Yeah.
It was
it's one thing, sitting there, it's another thing to stand up with an instrument on your shoulders with a stand in front of you with a light on it. I just can't do it. And it always bothered me that people would. So I was like, well, we'll go out there. And that's why we always, that's what I'm proud of in that. Like the artist and the singer or whoever's trying to get a deal, just giving them the best chance to have that success. And
it's a sales pitch.
And that was them feeling like they had a band. Even whoever small part of that was,
You know what's really funny is in between, a lot of people know about the story of Aldine, how grateful we are to Aldine and Knox and the whole team and people for, believing in us and letting us do what we do. But in between me playing with Pam Tillis and you guys playing with the Tim Rushlow solo career and Jason, so between Pam Tillis, Tim Rushlow's solo career and Aldine, there was a band called Rushlow. First thought, go.
Disappointment.
Okay, that's a great first thought. That's a great first thought.
A lesson in what happens when lesson in what happens when there's control issues and when you're not allowed to be yourself. It will never work. It's never worked.
So profound today.
It's never worked. It will never work. It doesn't work it doesn't work at this moment.
Well, and that, if you really want to encapsulate it, that was it. It wasn't genuine. you know, we
It's
were
too contrived.
We were told to not be ourselves, really, or play like ourselves. And we went to do our live shows. It was great. It was rock and roll. We had great audiences, but then we got into cut a record, and you know, we were just cutting stuff A, we weren't used to, and B, playing like we wouldn't
It was
play.
way polished, and
You were put inside a box.
I remember
It was a big box.
Our
So 6 guys.
manager / co-producer.
It's a lot of guys in the band. 6 guys.
I was playing, and he goes, "Man, play something Glenn Worf would play." And I said, "Well, I'm not Glenn Worf, you know, so probably that's not gonna work out well for me, you know."
Are you just using Glenn Worf's name because it's the cool name to throw out, or do you really? You know what I mean? It's
Well, Glenn Worf,
yes,
love Glenn
amazing
Worf.
player.
Amazing player,
But I mean-
but it's not me. He didn't do what I do. I don't do what he did, and that's great. But it was just
and
the
really-
mentality. You got to remember what this was the mentality of it.
Yeah, and
This was
2002, right?
Still,
And the moral of
2002,
it
yeah.
is that, I guess the end result is, and I mean, we talk about this a lot, and it's not trying to throw shade or anything, but the album ended up sounding,
ridiculous.
well, just like anything else. There was nothing unique about it.
I mean, we did play our heart.
Very soft.
Within the box, we played our heart out.
And that's
you know.
fine.
We gave our best.
But there just wasn't anything unique about it.
We were being produced wrong, and we gave the producer everything he wanted, and we've worked with that producer since then. He's a great engineer.
great.
Yeah.
Jeff Balding, killer engineer,
Yeah.
killer producer. But it was just too many different variables at that point, and music was different, and it was supposed to be slicker, and we were not slick. It was aggressive, and the songs we were playing. I felt weird playing the songs.
And then, ironically or coincidentally enough, you know, when we cut Jason's record 2 years later or a year and a half later,
Yep.
there's
Blows
like,
up.
what's this cool new fresh sound?
The sound we were trying to be in the other group. but you know, it's
okay.
It is cool to be in a situation where ever since 2002, we have never had to copy another person's licks to go take on the road. We literally have been tapped to play in the studio and on the road for everything we have done, which is a very, very cool thing for the last 15 years. And also, ever since 2007, that morphed into a company called New Voice Entertainment. New Voice Entertainment was a unique situation because literally in the entire history of Nashville, this is the first rhythm section production team in the history of Nashville, because Nashville has a
Really?
history of having a producer that calls the A-team. He gets them going, orders lunch, and goes and plays golf. That was the model in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And then we came along and said, we're going to play on the record and produce the record from the floor. And so it was a unique thing, but that grew into us producing. Who were some of our clients? Some of them, a lot of them didn't work.
Well, I mean,
but
and I mean,
a couple of them did.
To go back to the Russell thing real quick, as bad
Oh, he wants to talk about Russell even more.
as bad as that was, the point of that is, and with the production stuff too, is like, I still wouldn't trade a minute of it.
No, it's all
because I
premise.
learned
Well, there were so many things that
what
we
not
learned.
to do there. And when we started producing, took those lessons when we were produced wrong, and said we didn't want to do that anymore. We don't want to do it to it, and so we're producing, and had success producing, and some. It's a failure business. So if you produce 50 acts, you're hoping honestly that you can get 1 or 2 to work.
Oh, yeah.
So
we had 2 number ones with a group called Thompson Square,
Right.
and we had a number 1 with a group called Parmalee. And even with the group Parmalee, this is a band. And we said to ourselves, we are not going to put these guys through having the lead singer sing and have some session musicians come in. They were a band. So what we did, everybody in the band had their own coach. The bass player had a bass coach. The drummer had a drummer coach. And the band played on the record, and there's more ownership, and they're more proud of it. And they, yeah. And you know what's interesting? I'm just going to put that out there. We have really given blood, sweat, and tears, sometimes 20-hour days, multiple days in a row, to create sonic identities for people because we care about them and because we sweat blood. And a lot of times, if there's a little bit of not having success, it's our fault. And then they maybe move on, which has happened. And then there's also people that we produce that straight up, I mean, funny things happen, like you give them everything and they're like, you know what, I'm quitting the business, or you know, or they put out 2 singles and they're just like, and it's just so crazy. But it is fun to be part of that whole creative process. And drummers, musicians, I will say, if you're producing your own records and you're playing on it, it does pay more than just playing drums for some other person. That was a kind of a fun process. Yeah. Anything, Thompson Square, Parmalee, Lindsay L., Christy Lee Cook, Blake Wise. The list goes on.
It's just a lot of.
Anybody else I forgot?
The pots and pans guy.
It's very.
There was a time we were going to record a comedian. We were going to do a live in studio comedy record. Let me just tell you this: there is a difference between being funny at a cocktail party and being a comedian.
Lessons learned as well. There,
yeah.
A good lesson to anyone having success as a new producer. One thing I would change, and again, wouldn't change anything, but lesson learned. We had success with Tompkins Square, which is a big deal.
The plaques are right over there.
But then what happens is you get tempted. When that happens, you get thrown all kinds of stuff, and you don't want to turn down what could pay you well. So we really, in my opinion, burned ourselves out on stuff that we shouldn't have produced, but at the time felt right because hey, let's make the money. Strike with iron's hot.
And producing it, you are helping bring someone's dreams to fruition.
Yeah. But sometimes bringing someone's dreams to fruition
we completely overworked
can be a lot of
ourselves.
work.
We were doing 20-hour days, and our marriages were feeling it.
And our creativity.
Yeah.
Especially mine.
You burn out, though, and it was hard to get motivated.
And again, there's with it, it's like you have to. I think we found this out about producing too. You have to have a connection with the artist, like this connection, to really do the best work. And
trust.
What's that?
There has to be trust. Go back to trust.
Yeah, you go back to trust. And we were just doing a lot of things, and it just, some of them didn't work. I think because there wasn't this complete connection there.
Yeah, but I don't think we were. Again, lesson learned. I think I know I did. I started to see more. Okay, dollar signs, then, oh my gosh, I really want to produce this person.
For the long haul.
For the creative spot. So, which is natural. I mean, money sometimes, unfortunately, it does change things the way you think a little bit. So, that, looking back on it, if I could do it again, that'd be one thing. Just produce smarter.
In line with your DNA.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, I wouldn't change a moment. It's a lesson learned.
Oh, this is really, for those listeners and viewers out there, I mean, this is a really heartfelt story that's an 18-year story that actually needs to be told. And I don't really think we're old enough to write a memoir, but I mean, there has been memoir-worthy stuff that has happened in this last 18 years. I mean, we have done a lot of things together.
But on episode 7, Michael Bird said you're only one person away from a massive shift in your life. That is common truth, pretty much any given time in anybody's life if they pursue that relationship.
Sure.
Is it also true that you're any one situation away from massively shifting?
I'm sure.
Who are you guys producing? I'll say this is that I want to just talk about evolution and things that have been happening. Like while we were producing Tompkins Square, I wrote a book called Fundamentals of Drumming for Kids. And Tully would be like, can you get your head back in the game? You're writing your children's book. And I would be booking clinics because I didn't have the help. I have an administration team now that does my camps and my clinics. But at the time, I was running multiple businesses and trying to play the drums and co-produce. And I wrote this book. And in that amount of time, we also ended up getting a publishing deal through Magic Mustang. So every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, instead of me going to play drums for other people, I focused on developing a craft as a songwriter, and you guys did the same thing. And during that time, you guys had both great success. Tully, you wrote a top hit for Dierks Bentley called "Tippin' On Back." Was that a number 1 song?
4.
Number 4. Hey,
That's a hit.
dude, it's a hit. And a lot of times the difference between
He has a bar called
number 4.
So I think it's-
Oh, he named it. Really?
Well,
The corner of the bar.
the corner of his bar. Tip it on back.
Are you getting cut in on that?
No.
Okay. Anyways, and then Kurt, you now together.
Tully and I wrote Dustin's last hit,
Seeing Red, which is a number 1, which I have to say was a really special moment for me to go to the number 1 party, see my friends up there. You guys both gave very awesome, heartfelt speeches. Your parents were there, your wives were there, your children were there. So cool. And so now you guys are on. Me as a songwriter, I've got 3 number 1s in Australia, folks. And I, a guy named Colt Ford cut my song, and it was licensed to the NFL
awesome,
and stuff.
dude.
So it was fun. Not only did I learn the craft and understand the craft more, there's some things to show for it.
Yeah.
And now you guys are in love with that. You're having so much success with it. You're moving forward. Songwriting is definitely at the forefront of what you're really focusing on.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the 3 of us, we've taken, we're all on the same path, but we all have little side roads that we've kind of taken.
Yeah.
And like you kind of alluded to with, your books and your camps and all this.
Which was an adjustment for me at first, because it was like, my thing was always like, full steam ahead, 3 Kings, mow it all down. Then I realized, okay, well, part of being brothers is that things change slightly. And so he was really passionate. Richie was very passionate about doing other things, pursuing a lot of clinics, pursuing acting, which is another undertaking in itself of disappointment. So
It's a failure business.
I realized that I was
really is.
I realized that I was being unbrotherly by not supporting his thing. So we produce side projects, and we have, and the best way to do this is we can't play music without our brother. So we pay Richie to come play on whatever. He can't be there to produce. We produce it, and he can still do his things. And so that's the best way to keep my head on without exploding.
Yeah, because you guys they did the Tyler, along with Aldine, they produced some sides on Tyler Farr that were really nice. I want to get copies of those and to play at my clinics. But for whatever reason, you can't control what the suits pick, for singles and stuff. Hey, when we did Lindsay L, I still play the song "What" at my clinics. I think that was a hit.
Yeah,
probably was.
It was.
Yeah.
It was that "What" was a hit.
But yeah, there's all little things that we've learned to. Still same common goal, just little things inside the house have changed.
Yeah, they're definitely, these guys are going for songwriting, and I'm still very interested in songwriting. Like my friends, the Wolf Brothers, call me up and say, hey, our 4th record's happening. Will you come write songs? And I'm like, of course. Especially since I own all my own publishing now. Yay! But yeah, and even pursuing I think the consistency of focus. They're like, oh yeah, Rich is out in Los Angeles. He's trying to act. But now I'm staring at 3 years, and I've spent I don't know how many tens of thousands of dollars pursuing it in the smartest way. And they see, as people see that I don't quit. I just keep going, and people will go, oh okay. Respect.
We don't expect him to change that path. If he wants to come and say, guys, I want to produce something with you, we'll do it. Yeah. And we're not going to ask him, because I used to be like, we need you here and you're producing.
Well, there's something about producing that I hate, and it's this, and I'll put it out there to the world. I would rather stick bamboo shoots up my fingernails than cut vocals. Because here's the deal. I might be dating myself, but as I'm driving around in my little car and I'm listening to Satellite XM through my nice speakers, I'm like, wow. Everybody in the 70s could sing. And they had to sing because there was no Pro Tools. And Pro Tools changed everything. So basically, even if the singer can sing really well these days, if it's not perfectly tuned, it doesn't sound right. Because everything is through Pro Tools now. So basically, we're taking all the fun out of finding true artists that are true vocalists. So it's just...
Well, and even bands are artists anymore. It's not like, with Aldine and Michael, it's... What we do in that sense is nobody does that. Nobody does. It's individual. Oh, I got a drum program. Let's put some bass onto this. Yeah. I'm going to take it in the studio. I'll overdub some guitars. I'll do some synth.
And that's not a team process where you're all in the room at the same time. Something so special happens when you're all in the room at the same time.
Yeah, and it's just things change.
Yeah. So, anyways, they're like, hey, we want you to. I know you're going to be in LA this fall, but can you come in and cut drums on this? Yeah, I'll come in.
That's just the best way.
It's just because I don't have to do vocals, and people ask me to produce. They'll say, "Can you?" I was like, "Yeah." You know what my new model is, folks? You come to me, I'll put a beautiful band together. I'll book the studio. I'll get the charts done. I'll order your food. You'll be a world class experience. You go home with a hard drive, doing your vocals on your own. Go. Take your time with your vocals, but I ain't
Which is
doing
a
it.
huge part of the.
It's a massive.
Producing an artist, we're going to need those vocals.
But I say here, you're sonically, this thing is going to be fantastic, and then you align yourself with. I've got 4 or 5 different people that cut an amazing vocal that they can go to.
Yeah.
So that's been my new model. So things are shifting, but we're still the 3 Kings. Left me hanging.
Has anybody asked a question?
Yeah.
Do we have any traction out
We
there?
have traction. Brad Dawson says, me and my guys out here in California are being pulled 4 different directions by singers. How do we choose?
You mean with time? Their time pulling you everywhere?
And it's
Or it
just
sounds like
all
they're
about the
working
club
with
circuit.
4 Yeah.
Right.
No showcases like that.
So this guy's got a rhythm section together.
That sounds like me
It's
and
great.
my guys.
Nice. Me and my guys.
So just having trouble finding the right singer? Is that what I'm
It sounds like, I guess they're being hired by different singers.
Yeah.
They just don't know which way to
And
go.
my answer to that was just like, dude, you just kind of
Do it all until
Make it
one
work.
of them pops.
Yeah.
slay the lotto.
I mean, play the field until you just feel that connection with one. If you don't, it sounds like they don't have the connection with any of them. But
Keep looking.
It's not easy to
just
find.
play the,
I mean,
you
yeah.
gotta just keep putting it out there.
Yeah.
Play with them all.
And if you do find somebody that is a good singer, that's only part of it.
Oh, it's part of it. It's actually a minuscule
What's
part.
their bedside manner? What is their? Do they have an image? Are they marketable? Are they a nice person?
Remember, they're going to work as hard as you.
Oh, they have the work ethic is.
And it's mainly the same. Above all that, to me, it's like we have way different. Us 3, we're the same in a lot, but we have completely different personalities. All 3 of us. But we had one common goal: was to have the best success together as we could have. If you can find the guy with the common goal, the vision, you can deal with a lot of stuff. We used to fight. We still fight. Love them.
Not as much.
Not as much.
You know,
but we're older now.
Vodka really helps.
I'm the youngest one, so I probably, on a serious note, those fights were I was young. I mean, my fault. I was
Irish.
Yeah, young and Irish.
Because it's Irish.
He fights.
Put a bottle of Crown out of the equation, and it gets interesting. No, but
let's not do that.
It's not good. But fine. If one of those singers has the common vision, because some guys might they might be great, but we're only going to play 2 times a month. Well, that's not the common vision. You're out. You may find a guy that's not quite as good, but it looks great. He's like, man, I want to take over the world. Well, maybe that's your guy.
Yeah, you could tune the vocal. If somebody that's got a work ethic.
It's not unlike, this guy's kind of in a similar situation. Not a similar situation, but you watch Shark Tank, okay?
Love Shark
Here are these guys coming into the tank, and the entrepreneurs are looking at them, and they're basically they're interviewing the guy.
Yeah.
The singer is kind of like the business owner in a sense, and it's all comes down to the personality. Okay, I buy into you. You're selling this to me. Your product's okay, but we can make this happen because you got the right personality.
And he doesn't need to be. The thing about to me, and
so much.
What is the best singer? The best singer to me is the guy with the coolest thing. It's not, and never will be like a singing contest.
No, I mean, even your favorite rock bands. I mean, very rarely are they an amazing singer. I mean, you hear the stories with U2. They thought Bono was a horrible singer.
They're an ensemble. The Stones, U2,
it's all that.
Guns N' Roses. It's an ensemble.
It's funny. I was thinking yesterday that the video came out with Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Someone isolated the vocals from "Wouldn't It Be Nice,"
Okay.
and they're imperfect, but they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Because they are the imperfection.
But music is imperfect,
Right.
And that we've lost that element, which is another conversation about the music business. But music isn't supposed to be perfect.
We're actually supposed to be talking about a little bit about the music business today. Are there any questions on that kind of stuff?
Well, John Ho, he's chiming in. He says,
Nice.
Little John?
I think
Where's he?
people would be interested in hearing how you would go about weathering through the changes in the industry as a team and or individually.
John,
He's so
she's all grown up.
He's so articulate.
Now I will tell our viewers that last night we were where? We were in Macon, Georgia.
Macon,
We were in one of the
Georgia.
birthplaces of Southern rock music. We were with Jason, 5 hours away, playing a benefit for the Children's Hospital, and we raised, I don't know how much money, but
$700,000.
$700,000 for the new Children's Hospital. So it was a great night, and 3 feet behind me was John Hall, who is my now drum tech of 5 years, and we do a lot of fun stuff together. So what would you guys, where are we going with the industry?
Well, I think honestly, and this comes into some of the play of me and Kurt maybe concentrating so hard on writing, I love to play on sessions. I love to do it. I love to be in the studio. The music's shifting that way where it's like, okay, well, not as many records is being made. It's more of a singles-based industry, which is happening seamlessly overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like
it's
where we're probably playing on some of the last records.
That is so scary.
You can see it. It's right there. It's happening. So, if as a business, you look at live music is a huge part of the business and will always be a huge part, more so now than ever, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
The live music industry. There's more ways than ever to get your music heard, but less ways to get money from it.
So you have to tour.
So as a new artist, unfortunately, if you're a new artist, the deals that are offered today are called 360 deals. So you stand to make less as an artist.
Basically, that means a label puts their hand in every part of your income.
The label doesn't
Publishing.
just take. There's no record sales, so they don't just take that. They take
Publishing,
everything you are
performance,
as an artist.
and T-shirts.
So it's all. I mean, music.
But they're doing it because they aren't making money, and they're trying to find ways to make money too. And it's really, it's people are grasping at how they're going to continue to make money. But you're right; you have to now tour to make your money, which in a way was like in the 70s. That's kind of how bands got started.
So that's where the money's coming from. So that's where they're
and that's
taking
cool
the money
anyways
from,
because we want to play. I told somebody the other day something very profound. I said, that my suitcase has never been fully unpacked for 20 years. And they're like, really? I said, I might take dirty clothes out and put clean clothes in, but
it's really funny. My suitcase sits in the room there,
only in December. Only in December will I fully put my suitcase away.
Yeah,
because we have stretches of time off now that we never had. But the music business is definitely challenging. I thank the Lord that we are dug in here, because I don't know if I would want to move here as a 21-year-old now.
But at the same time,
knowing what I know,
if they want to do it, this is the last place to move.
Well, yeah.
But you better. I'll say this: me and Richie differ on this.
Tully says his advice is
no,
don't move.
No. I would make sure that you know what you want to do and that you're ready to do it. This is not a place to learn anymore.
You and I agree on that.
It is not a place to
cut your teeth,
to be mentored into a position, because I get asked a lot to help.
I do it too for free coffee. I have a lot of free coffee. I will mentor the hell out of you, but you can't teach. You can't teach preparedness. You can't rush that process. You move here and you have no experience playing the style of music that you want to play, and you're expecting for people to react positively to you sitting in it at the.
There's just less evidence to get noticed. Like when we were younger, when I was young, you get noticed playing on a session. You get noticed playing on a showcase. Showcases don't even really happen as much now.
The only thing you're not talking about is the social media aspect of everything.
Oh, well, that's why you're here, John.
Well,
Jim. Jim! I was thinking of actually Jimmy John's.
Wow. How long have you been working together?
No, we always get Jimmy John's before the show, so sorry. It was like, I'm hungry.
Jimmy
But I mean, is it possible for an artist this day and age to even need the machine anymore?
Well,
great question.
Interestingly enough,
awesome
just one of our good friends that's now out opening for Jason is Cain Brown. I think he's a great example of him putting himself out there on the socials, building his YouTube following, building his Instagram and everything, and he was selling. I mean, and he's not the only one. Sam Hunt did it as well, but he was selling 500,000 copies of a record that had no airplay.
He did it all in his own self-publishing.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He has 700,000 Instagram followers.
Which is great, but you do need still, and that's incredible. We talk about it every day.
Yeah.
How much time has changed? That's even possible.
In
country music, in country music, you need the machine in the sense that country radio is still relevant. So you can come out and you still in this genre.
Oh, it's completely relevant because even with Sam or Cain,
they need radio, even them at this point.
And music videos,
which is good. We want radio to stay relevant. But so you need the machine in the sense that the machine provides you with a promotion staff to work radio. So essentially, even if that is all you're using them for, it is an important piece to get you to the next level.
That probably compresses the time involved.
Right.
But if your stuff is good,
I don't know if you can have success in the country genre without radio play.
Right. As of right now, it's still, and now in 5 years, 10 years,
maybe less.
I don't know, maybe less. But as of today, we're sitting here. But things are happening so quickly. Like overnight, I'm telling you, overnight we went to a singles. We talked about this last night with Jason's manager. It seems like overnight that we have now shifted, not talking about what it's going to be, but staring at it. Like it's a singles-based market, which depresses me because I love the album. And
all people our age love the album.
But times change.
Yeah.
Pendulum swings one way, it'll swing back the other.
I mean, in the 50s, it was a singles-based business, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you sold...
Rock Around the Clock.
Yeah.
That brings up another interesting question I thought of before we started. Being that you made your career and you made your stamp on the business in this day and age, you probably wouldn't want to give it up, obviously, but, what day and age would you love to have a shot at? If you could go back in time to make a career in music, what would be your favorite era to do it?
70s.
I'm just, for my age, it would be the 70s, yeah.
I think we would...
Tully likes the 80s.
I think we would have destroyed, had the world, a killer band like in the late 70s, early to mid 80s. Because it was, what I love about the 80s was that there was some really bad stuff, but there some of my favorite stuff ever.
Well, you had metal and you had new wave together.
But it was metal, but it was a great records, Synchronicity, Joshua Tree, stuff that, it's like any genre. I guess there's great music and bad music in every decade.
But music was so important in the 70s, and even the one-hit wonders were special. The Pina Colada song.
The musicality to me in the 70s was really great.
In the time to make a record.
Yeah.
Like that's what I wish. I would love to be able to go into a studio in the 70s and they say, here's your studio and it's yours for 6 months.
That's what I was going to say. The documentary Metallica did that in 91. 10 ounce in the studio.
Right.
I mean,
that sounds like a blast. Oh, yeah. But
I don't know if I would like 10 months.
I love that.
I don't know about
to make a record.
Definitely like
I love it. I love it. But and to their credit, they were cutting tape, and it was making. But look what 10 months in the studio.
Hey, make them remember.
But look what they did with the Black record.
Look at Rumors.
So maybe 10 months in the studio. I mean,
I'd like to make
that record is still selling 6,000 a week.
I'd like to make an album like the Eagles' Greatest Hits and Rumors, like those, like wow. Those things that damn the torpedoes.
Who says you haven't?
Well,
I mean, we listened to the Alvin playlist. We were coming back from Charlotte. Kids were all fired up because they saw you guys, and they wanted to listen to it. And like every single song was a hit. I mean, and it was 18.
I guess you don't see it when you're in
you
there
think
as
about
much.
it.
We're too
My
deep
Kind of Party.
in it.
3 million records.
5 number 1 songs
For that time in music. That translates very well to any of our absolute favorite records.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I guess
We're too inside the box to kind of see it, and we're just being hard on ourselves. Or we were just holding ourselves to a high standard and just going out there and executing every night. But who knows? In maybe 20 years, we'll look back and go, Jason Aldean's Greatest Hits. Wow, we were there.
Well, I'm definitely proud of what we did. Us and Jason and Michael Knox and the guys that play those records with us, and it's really a unique. Now those records are higher stress, and they're faster. They're done faster, but that's some of the magic because Michael's
we don't overthink it.
He's a song producer. But he knows he gives us our freedom.
And that's what makes it.
Trust and freedom are the 2 greatest things you can have in any business.
Well, letting people do what they're bringing their talents to.
Sure.
Their specialties. That absolutely makes a lot of sense.
This is so fun. So we've talked about the early days. We've talked about Rushlow. We've talked the early days of Jason. Everything in Jason full circle. A little bit about the music business. What are we missing, Jim? Talked a little bit about the future. These guys are focusing on songwriting.
Well, as things are changing, what adaptations are you making in your lives and your careers for the next chapter?
Well, we're working towards management side.
Am I getting cut in on that?
I mean, you might be acting at that time. I don't know.
Playing's always it's weird.
We can act like a manager.
Yeah.
No, I mean we've always talked about it back
I
in the
know.
BlackBerry
Yeah.
days. I mean, I got incredible organizational skills, guys. Don't cut me out. I mean,
Now this
this is the first that I've
This
seen.
could be reality
This-
TV.
This-
Action
this-
too. I mean,
Yeah.
This is very similar to the conversation we had when we were producing, and this is what I love about Rich.
I'm getting cut out.
You'd have to be here to.
Dude, I live.
You were seeing live action. This is live.
I mean,
live.
it's about to go down.
If artist A says, "Oh my gosh, I need this. This has happened, guys. I need this to make it happen," and
I'm
You're in LA.
I'm a cog in the wheel. I mean, dude, I'm 4 hours away by Southwest Airlines. I mean, Aldean's going to be doing fewer and fewer dates, and my plan is, to be,
Well, we know you want to live in LA. So that here's the thing about being bros. This is the same conversation we had about producing, and he goes, "Am I going to be able to produce this record?" I said, "Well, you have to produce it to produce it."
So really, you guys are going to take the Three Kings, turn it into Two Kings, or Hydra Management, three-headed Hydra, and what's
like
two
this,
heads?
though.
What is this? Is
I
it Centipede Management? What is that?
No. It's like you doing a speaking engagement without us.
Oh, okay. I am getting cut out, but
How are you guys speaking?
no, but like now
I can speak.
well, we're very
Exactly.
we're very reclusive. This is obviously us.
Remember when I got you guys that
Yeah,
teaching gig for the U.S. military
Yeah.
cover band? I was so impressed with these guys. We went and we did a Three Kings
That was a lot of
clinic.
fun. That was a lot of fun.
For the United States Air Force
But he cut us out of the clinics.
band. No. Oh, by the way, guys, we are going to be doing a Three Kings workshop. It's a 2-hour intensive
We are?
at World Music Nashville.
When?
It's my buddy Denny's. Troy Lucketta's brother, Denny Sanders, owns World Music now
Is that
in
November?
Belmead on the corner of the Highway 70 and all that.
Oh, yeah, I think
And there-
I know.
So we're going to coming up. I ran it past you in the van the other day. Like all things, you forgot. I need dates before the end of the year
Okay.
that we can go teach.
Okay.
I thought it was yours.
That's going to be
So
fun.
Your
cutting
clinic.
you in.
Well,
Well,
there's
I
no
mean-
payment on that.
No, we're gonna make money. Yeah, we're gonna make money.
No, yeah, it's live action here today.
I didn't know where we were. Oh, moving forward in the music
Yeah.
business, which is another reason why we write too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
we love it, and then
But it's
You
a
know-
failure business. How many songs we write?
well, I mean, hundreds
Of songs. We get 3-4 singles, and out of the hundreds, that's a failure business. Acting, it's a lot
of heartbreak.
But it's all a failure business, especially if you don't work hard.
But I was
know,
going to say too,
but-
it's kind of the evolution of it's like, okay, we're players. We play other people's songs that other people produce. We're like, no, let's produce, okay.
Right.
And then we're thinking, God, I don't want to play on this horrible song, but let's write songs,
Right.
So it's part of the evolution of creativity too,
Oh, love it.
and creating the music from this.
You're having,
this.
you're having other creative. The evolution of creativity. It's other ways to express ourselves in a creative way. And
At the core of music, it's like, shoot. Sometimes I don't want to play on somebody else's song that they wrote. I want to play on my song that I wrote.
Yeah.
We've actually signed up a lot of pieces like Shpeak.
Kurt, this is one great
fun too, though.
moment. The moment I realized that I love playing in sessions, but I had a hard time playing on bad songs. What I thought was a bad song. Some guys, it's just punching the clock. You can go and you can. And that's why producing came to the forefront, and writing was like, well, if I don't want to play on bad songs the rest of my life, I've got to find other ways to make sure I don't. So
Yeah, you know those guys. We know and we've done sessions with them where they come. They pack their brown bag lunch,
And that's okay.
and they
That's
go,
okay.
and it's their craft, and they're highly invested in the union, and they have a pension coming and all that. But God, there's got to be more to life than that.
and I think that's why our love for music.
Sorry,
That right there-
this is warts and all.
But that right there is why we've been so tight. It's like we're so different, but we've had numerous common threads, and that's one of them. Like the love of a song, playing for a song.
If you hear a Steve Earle song, you look at each other, you're like, whoa, okay.
Doing the best you can for that song, serving the song, has always been our...
Have we gotten to the Ask the Vest part of this?
No. I do want to ask the vest.
Okay, so this is I treated myself to some leather vests from my friend Henry in Los Angeles, and it came back, and the guy seemed to think that it's too high in the back.
I mean, where's which one are we over here or
Well,
this
this is
one?
the main one, but we're on Facebook.
So-
Now, this to me...
Too high?
Well, stand normal.
Yeah, stay normal. To me...
It's a little high.
Raise your arms up like you're going to go, yeah. See...
That's good.
I don't know, man. It needs to come down another...
I think it's cool for, like, tonight I'm going to a nice wine dinner with friends, and I'm going to go, it's super casual, but this kind of dresses it up a little bit.
I like the vest.
It looks good sitting there.
I like the vest. I'm just wondering if it's...
It does.
How about this?
Like 3 inches.
No, it's good.
Well, the
Maybe-
funny thing is that, about 7 years ago, we did a documentary, and we talked about it before, and it's...
Jim wants this thing out, guys. We've got to get it out. It's called Working the Dream.
We talked about it
It's
before.
basically me driving around my Honda
cut
Element.
out.
I think we got cut
We
out.
got cut out.
You're in
No,
it.
we're in
Well,
it,
we're
but
in
we
it.
got cut out.
You asked for our
cut it.
likeness
You know
without
what?
any...
Talking about getting cut out, comes up to us a month ago, says, hey guys, I got this documentary I've been working on for 10
7
years.
So,
7 years.
Getting cut out.
Well, no. I mean,
Number 7.
I put
We
it.
did have to sign away our likeness.
I put
We're not making-
I put it to bed because I didn't think.
nobody's making it.
I didn't think, whatever, all the people in Aldean's organization would approve of it, but I think there's just a lot of...
But the funny thing
I think it's great.
But there is some
I
interesting...
think it's great. Yeah.
Jason was kind enough to be a part of it, and he did a quick interview with us, and it's
Yeah.
funny because...
Be sure to
he was
use the
talking about
hashtag
things.
Pick
He's like,
Rich's
"Yeah, I
Brain
got
to ask
things."
questions of
I
me
thought it
or
was
my
four
guest.
things, and you were sitting right next to him, Tully, and you go, it is the 4 kids.
Yeah, I have an idea
It's
for
got
you.
footage of us doing finesse.
I have an idea
I
for
watched
you.
it. It's
Yeah.
great.
Here's
It's
my
great.
challenge to Jim.
It's the Gym Challenge?
What I would do
Per Tully.
per Tully, and we do this the right way. Next year, next year and the year after, you should do another one, because we're probably coming down to,
Well, we've turned down reality shows for how many
10
years?
but
10 years.
like you should actually come out and do it for real to really see the. Because I think part of the truth about this is the warts, which without the warts, there's no story.
How was Jim going to travel? How was it going to get approved? How was it?
We'll figure it out. But I'm just saying it'd be good to do it that way.
If you release this thing, I've told you before, my Spidey sense says it's going to be flipping huge.
the documentary.
I don't think there's enough of me and Kurt in it.
There's a
There's a
There is
lot
a lot of-
There's some David Fanning in there too.
There's some
Which is
stuff,
great.
but
I
there's
love
some
that.
stuff.
And David's a big part of our lives.
David was a big part of our lives for.
But
Yeah.
there's too much.
Long time.
Well,
David, are you out
it's
there?
technical. It's like I just think people want to see the grit
yeah,
and
I agree.
not the blue sparkle syndrome. I love that story, but like
Oh, it's just
the grit part of it, you're absolutely right.
to make it really to bite, and I think it can. We'll figure that out.
That's the grit. You and I.
Just the there wasn't enough. I love what you do. First of all, God, I know you
we
were
might as well just
swayed.
put it out.
You were swayed. I'm just saying there's
I mean, Mike Fry's in this thing.
I know the time
that's
period is
awesome.
great. I wish we could document the next
I really
few years.
really wish we could do it too. But I mean, it's gotten so big. I mean, Jason has 100 employees. I mean,
What does Vaynerchuk say? Document over create.
Okay.
Got to document.
Who says that?
Vaynerchuk.
He's a thought leader, business development coach.
Rich makes fun of my fandom.
Yeah, he's gay for him. Sorry.
Rich is lucky to have you. He talks about you. You're a good man.
How much does he pay you to do this?
Hey, I cut him in.
You see that bank? I am laughing all the way.
Are you guys really gonna we got to talk about this, man?
What?
Over coffee, getting cut out.
Betty, we would
How
love
can
you
you
to be part of the management.
You're going to do a
thing, but you're not-
finally.
But
You're finally going to do a management thing. I brought this up 10 years ago on my BlackBerry.
Here's the thing.
I was
Again,
the fastest.
You couldn't
Wait.
possibly.
I could put out fires.
Here's what happened.
But you got.
Already see the drum set? I got this covered.
Here's the thing. This is part of being brothers, and that freedom we've given you when you When you're in LA,
it's going to be hard for me.
When you're in LA, listen to me. Not just recently, but the last couple of years.
Yes.
We've had to keep moving forward here too. So it's like,
you have number one songs. You have giant ranch houses next to Dolly Parton.
We're moving. We've got to keep moving too. Like you have dreams to be in a movie.
You guys have
I have dreams.
Communities.
I have dreams to manage multi-million-dollar artists.
I think there's a question that somebody asked you, Tully.
Okay.
If you want to answer it,
sure.
It's on here.
What kind of bass strings do you
Tully
use?
got sent
Bass
over.
strings, you got what kind of practice do you do every day? Kind of stuff.
Okay, I'll tell them that.
Hey y'all, Anthony Pena here, Panicopolis.
Nice.
I enjoy all of your work. You three are Class A musicians. Any advice on standing
Classy?
other Class A?
Oh, shoot.
You can't hit Class A. He's getting old.
Any advice on standing out to other artists and making sure people see you as the guy with the hard work ethic and the passion for the music?
Oh man,
How do you stand out?
That's just something that just happens over a period of time.
Yeah.
I think your reputation precedes you, and the only way to develop a wonderful reputation is to just keep showing up and just creating excellence day after day after day. And before you know it, people will talk. This is a word of mouth business. Good news travels fast, and bad news travels 10 times as fast. So you really can't have a bad day. People will slowly but surely notice the quality of your work.
And somebody else asked, do you have to live in Nashville to be a songwriter?
Yes.
Well,
I would think so. It's the home writing.
Christine Hearn. I write songs. Do I need to live in Nashville? to get
Christine's
to
front row at all of her shows. Christine.
Yeah, Christine. Hey.
She's awesome. I know that she writes songs.
You can write songs
I know
wherever,
that she
wherever
created,
you want.
But it's someone hearing them.
Depends what you want to do with your songs.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be in the business of songwriting,
Yes.
you should be in a major
LA,
music
here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because basically you can write an amazing song, but it's just going to sit in a hard drive.
Any artist or label would not take any unsolicited music to listen to.
So the only way to get your songs heard is to start knowing the other songwriters and all the gatekeepers, which means probably living where those things exist.
What was that question, Jim? Do you have one for me or something?
For you, it was basically asking about, I'm going to find it here, how your daily practice routine and regimen.
Make music.
Now, basically, on a serious note, over the years, play a lot of 5-string basses, and over the years, getting older and my wrists get really tight. So these days, I'll sit about an hour a day, whether it's if I'm at home, I do it late at night, or if I'm on the road, I do it in the morning before the show. Lots of just exercises on the neck, just stuff that you would do when you're learning to play, like a lot of scales just up and down the neck to keep your fingers loose and your wrist loose, because over the years, like I find more than ever that I get tightness in my wrist and my hands.
It's interesting that your wrist is always like this as a bass player. It's like that can't, like this thing can't be good.
So and you wear your strap low and stuff gets tight as you get older. So I try to do that.
Do you inch up the bass over time?
He will never do that.
No, he inches it down.
I go lower.
The Berkeley?
Yeah, I'll take the pain for the
Berkeley
high
bass?
strap.
You want to kill ants?
Yeah, no Berkeley strap.
This is really.
You can't rock this. I'm sorry.
This
is not
Tom
cool.
Morello.
Yeah, you're right. He might be one of the only.
John Petrucci.
He's really, really good. That Morello guy. It's unique. We are wrapping up, so we really do hope you've enjoyed episode 8 of Pick Rich's Brain. My illustrious guests, the 3 kings, Kurt Allison, Tully Kennedy. Probably the best way to find them is to look them up at the current platform all the kids are on Instagram.
Right.
And of course, you have any questions for them, check me out on all the platforms. I'm just Rich Redmond, Redmond, on all of the platforms. But we really appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to look for the show on my website under Media, Podcasts, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, and of course, YouTube. And we will see you. Stitcher is a great place where that houses a lot of podcasts. Yeah, so we really do appreciate it. Keep in touch, and we'll see you next week. All right. Thanks, guys. Woo! Don't forget to rate the podcast. I want to give you value, and I need your feedback to do it. Give me 1 star. Give me 5 star. Just rate it.